We're back. The Training121 PODCAST is back. Are we ready? Kinger.
Delighted to be here. Delighted to be
Welcome. Kinger's a newfound coach of ours. Well, how long ago was it?
Old found. I
How many
coached the
months?
boys' new CD.
No, yeah, okay, fair enough. But that's the backstory. Actually, that was something that we were going to debate that we should do, is that we take on all staff and we have all the other staff interview them for a podcast. I think that's a good idea going forward. So we'll give you the full introduction then, right?
Yeah.
For now, welcome to the podcast. The
The
OG boys are here. How are we, lads?
I'm actually really good. This is something that I wanted to do for so long, and a little bit of background into how we get things done here. Typically, we, like either myself, Morgan, or Gary, have these random ideas and say, look, we don't have time for that. And then sometimes things kind of just like fall in the right place in the right time, where it was the case we had a couple of evenings and it was just a case of let's just find a venue, book it, and go for it. So yeah, here
We're
we
back.
are.
So we thought 1:30 on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, to give some context,
After
viewers,
training.
it probably looks
Hooked
like
on coffee.
it's a lovely day out. It is 10:30 on a Tuesday evening, post T121 sessions, a good night of sessions, full house. So we're all buzzing. Good day to be alive. I think we should just kick off straight away. First question, go straight into it. Today we're doing a questions and answers. You probably tell by the title of the video that we're doing a questions and answers. So, ready to go?
Yeah.
Kinger, first one's going
Kinger,
straight to
yeah,
you.
Kinger.
Is it?
First one's going straight to you. Shout out to your mates who are throwing in some very good questions. We're going to do one, right? And how we'll structure it is you give yourself a player, right? So the question is, what player in the world do you feel in world football is most similar to you, okay?
Yeah.
So what we'll do it for each individual though, right? Okay, so first of all, we'll let you pick who you think it is.
Do you want the name?
Yeah. Who else want it? I want his nationality, his club.
It's a weird one because I'm a United fan, so it's Chris Smalling.
That is a fantastic show. I'm all over it.
No, I got the shout a few years ago, and I'm miles off it, but he's tall, he's a centre half, and
He's gorgeous.
yeah, he's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good show. I'm actually having that Chris Smalling show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
am.
no,
take that.
I'll write that.
I'll take that.
I'm
Yeah.
having
Like,
it.
he's not the quickest either, so. Did
Yeah,
me
no,
that.
cinder block fee. G, go
For me or for Kinger?
for you, and then we'll do.
And then me.
Then we'll do collective.
You know, my gut wants to say Paul Scholes, but my brain says Titus Bramble.
Show.
What?
Player.
Why?
Show.
Kinger's the young friend.
Why
Just
Titus?
a
Erratic.
log and erratic.
Premier League player though.
I should have gone down that
Premier
route
League
myself.
player, man. Good show. Daly, you're Luke
What's
Shaw.
it though?
I was actually going to say Luke Shaw, liability, defend the back stick.
Pretty harsh on yourself, but
Are you quick, Daly?
Daly can go.
Cover, ground. Yeah. Not Rapido now, but.
Couldn't catch me in Carton though.
Oh my God, do you remember that?
Shout out to Daz.
I actually did say I'd give
Remember
him a shout out on the podcast.
No.
I decided to check. Did you rob
The
my
lean
phone
in.
or something?
No. What it was is that that was
actually,
after.
yeah.
So we had a race. We were like, right, let's race. So
Wait.
because Daly claimed I wasn't quick, and I was like, I'll show you. So I'll show you how quick I am. So I was like, race me. So we darted. Me and Daz got involved. Daz was dustied. So we buried him. But then Daz stole your phone and you chased him and you fell. And it was a whole ordeal because anyone who's been in Carton House, there's a big hill and you fell down. It was a good day.
Good times.
But irregardless, yeah, you are quick though. Should be quicker for your size though.
What about you?
I'm gonna say what Daly called me, and it's generous. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'll let you say it. Who you thought I was as a player? You were shouting it for like a week straight, Daly.
I can't remember at all. Do you know what it is?
I can't remember.
Real
You-
Madrid.
Well,
Now,
you-
I'm very optimistic of myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but it's an interesting
Valverde.
Valverde.
Oh, really? Based on what?
Just like gets around. They play him right wing.
Stud.
Put him right wing. Gets around.
Stud.
Bit of energy.
no. Hold on. Morgan, right wing.
No, okay, fair enough.
Doesn't mean
Benchy.
man
Right
Valverde
wing,
isn't
right
the right
wing,
winger,
benchy.
really.
Factorial Finn. Benchy if I'm playing on the right wing. I hate it. But in terms of just running around like a lunatic, yeah, I'll have that.
Or Morgan's a bit of Kovacic.
Kovacic.
For,
That is very
Chelsea.
generous. Thank you. That's too generous.
Really?
He's a player as well.
I think you're too
Skin
tall
him.
to be Valverde or Kovacic. I think Adrian Rabiot was more the route I'd go down.
Oh, King Ash. King Ash.
He's a player.
King, oh, Mel.
He's a player. He's a player.
Would
He's
you take him
silky.
at United?
Yeah.
No.
Nothing but vibes.
Stay.
No.
Silky, ponytail. Sign him. Sign him. Left
Ponytail.
foot. 6'1". French. Sign him.
Nah.
Sign him.
Doesn't get around. Lazy.
Is this
Gorgeous.
the fella who United were?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason.
Rabiot. PSG.
To be fair now,
Or Juventus.
Juventus.
apologies.
He's such a floater.
See,
Floats
he's another.
around your midfield.
He's another Lamella. You know, a bit of something, but a bit of
might
nothing.
kick somebody or something. This fella, he'll just float around midfield.
That's what Casemiro's for. Casemiro's for kicking.
King, man.
Scott McDrippy is for kicking.
Oh my god.
actually, can I add something here?
Casemiro, what player?
If people ever see clips of Morgan on social media, they probably think like he's a number 10 or a centre forward. But Morgan, by trade, ended his career
Get
as a
around
number
there.
6 and a
Or centre half. Centre half. Get around there.
Like if he's the last thing from a liability, which is
You
funny.
wouldn't see me anywhere near the goal. To be 100% transparent, I have about 4 career goals in my last like 6 years. Terrible. I scored more school games. I had like 4 or 5 than I had in like 4 years. And club football, just playing centre half.
Can we now pick players
For me.
for
each
who
other.
I
Pick one for
think?
me.
Kinger,
go
I
ahead.
remember there was a story of
I'm
you playing
nervous,
up
I'm
top
nervous.
for Home Farm when you were younger, and one of the players in the league gave a shout for the player that you were.
Oh yeah,
And I can't remember the player for the life of me, so I want you to say it for me.
I'm not naming. If you
No,
know,
no.
you know.
Who is
Don't
it?
Name the player that not the player that gave the name, but
Go on,
name the
name the
player that they said it was from the Premier League.
Right, so for those who know me, know I'm slow, but this is pretty hurtful.
Who is it?
It was Gonzalo Higuain. But a finisher, by the way. I was a bit hurt, but a bit like
Bit of a player.
bit of a
Player,
finisher.
but
yeah.
bit stuffed.
Bit
Yeah,
throws
good
himself
shout.
around.
That's a good one.
shout.
That's a good one. Small though as well. You're tall.
Yeah, 6. No,
Yeah.
Higuain's tall. Is he not?
Is he?
I'd say he's tall, yeah.
Morgan is absolutely Steve Silva. Like,
Factorial.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Factorial.
No, my player for Morgan is Tielemans.
Oof. Lads, you're very complimentary.
That is, yeah, well, that's a mad shout.
Tielemans, man.
I've never
Yeah, I
seen you
think
in 11v11, so I can't.
Yeah, I go with Tielemans.
He's
I'm
a
sticking with
bargain.
Rabiot.
Take that.
Rabiot
Sticking
is,
with
is
Rabiot.
actually such a slag.
When
That's
I'm
not-
not having a
I'd
beer.
have-
That.
I'd take
Well,
that.
he's a pro footballer, so
Give
I'll
me
take
another
it.
tall, silky, kind of technical. That's a very nice thing to say, isn't it? Tall, silky, technical.
Lads, thanks a million. I'm delighted we're back with the podcast. This is great. No, I can't think of anyone. Tall, silky. When I think of tall, silky, I think Pogba, but I'm not saying.
No,
Do you know who's a player?
No.
Bentancur for Spurs is a baller.
Yeah, I'll give you
Kulusevski,
Bentancur.
boys.
I'll
Not
give you
saying
Is
me, but
also
what
a
a
baller.
player.
Yeah,
That's I just want
Kulusevski.
to put that out there.
for Daly, only simply because, like, obviously me and Gary grew up together, so we used to always call him Jordi Alba. But I mean, it was kind of similar. You were always really good crossing the ball, and
Gorgeous. I'm throwing out compliments. Tandem gorgeous. Actually, is
This
Jordi Alba
podcast is phenomenal.
Is Jordi Alba?
boys, I got called Titus Bramble and nothing
you
else.
called
Good.
yourself
Someone
Titus
throwing at
Bramble.
me.
I'm going to throw in Mark Noble in there. OG podcast show. Just kicks people. Probably not as efficient as a player in terms of tech,
a good
but
shout
can
for
get
G, yeah.
around and can make a play. That's what I would say. Not having the Mark Noble show.
Thanks. See you all next week.
I mean, it's all right.
That's a great show.
I like
I'll take
Jordi
it.
Alba. Who did I say for you? Rabiot. I like
Rabiot.
Rabiot.
Don't
G
remind
is
me.
interesting. I've never seen you play 11v11. I've only
We played in a coaches and
We
players
did.
game, and you scored on my team. Well, that just goes to show that I was not remembered. Thanks, lads.
Who's a midfielder in the Premier League that's not remembered?
That's a great one to go.
What's his name? What's his
Charlton
name?
Zogby.
He played in the middle for Spurs. Not Huddleston. Huddleston's around. that
Jermaine
bracket,
Genius.
though. No. Chimbonda. Pascal Chimbonda.
He's a right full.
That's
He was
what I
a
know.
right full.
Fullback,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you can get in the middle as well.
And a Cranchar. Actually, no, he's a
well,
what a
no,
player.
he's,
as well.
he's streets won't forget him.
Yeah, that is fair.
That is fair.
A steady Eddie in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
That's forgotten.
Well, I tell you,
I
I was fairly erratic now. Like, fairly erratic. I mean, we used to,
love
I
the
think,
scrap.
at under 17s, yeah, I mean, full of testosterone. That was all that was. Like, acting the maggot, honestly. But
Yeah, you
they
were,
were the best times, though. Me and Gary played together at 17s, and honestly, I loved football then. I looked forward to every single game. Only for 1 year, though. Like, I played football all the way till I was 19. That was the only season I looked forward to every single game.
Competing with friends in an environment that like suits everyone's level is great.
True.
Like, you
Good way
don't
of
need to be
putting
playing top level. As long as you're
Yeah.
competing, everyone cares. Irregardless of training now. If you're on game day, everyone cares. You get around, everyone tries, irregardless of whether you win or not. Everyone competes, everyone's happy. If you get on as a team, and obviously you all group together, so they're the best times in football.
Mm-hmm.
The boys, the lads.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Q1, Q2. We'll go a shorter one. We're about
That's a
half an
great
hour
question
trying to do
for
that.
us.
It's
That's
a very good question.
one of
I
King's
think it was
mates,
Gav
wasn't it?
Harney.
Was it Gav?
I think it was Gav.
Thanks,
Good
Gav.
show. Thanks, Gav. We'll do a shorter one. This is a great one. Jamie Boyne, great show. Okay, we're going to do a start, bench, and sell. All right. 3 top centre forwards in the Premier League. Henry, Aguero, and Suarez.
Can I just say, what is the context? Is this once-off game we're saying?
No, I think
Or
this should
over a
be
season.
just over a season. Who you think?
Today.
Henry
in
is
their prime.
45.
honestly.
It has to be asked.
Cut.
It has to
Cut
be
that.
asked.
Yeah, they're
It has
in
to be
their
asked.
prime.
That
And
no,
for a
he's
full
retired.
season.
In their prime, then.
King, well, that's the stupidest question.
Well, I'm
I've
trying
ever
to get
heard.
an easy answer because it's a very difficult question. And that would have been an easy answer.
I'm going to go with mine. In their prime, once off season, it's start Henry all day. Second is Suarez and then sell Aguero.
I
Because
would
Suarez
agree.
was sick
That's
that
close.
one year.
I would agree.
But I do love Aguero.
I would agree with you.
Who has
Although I love Aguero, Suarez edges him as
who
an
had a
overall
better
player.
career though? Aguero or Suarez overall?
Look at the Noila fella. The Noila fella, Liverpool
Uh,
fan.
I think Suarez.
Yeah.
I think Suarez,
I
yeah.
loved Aguero,
He done
man.
it in Spain and in England. I know Aguero done it as
Yeah.
well, but he done it for longer, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is it my go?
I think Suarez. Yeah, go G. I did not
Henry
agree.
all day.
Starting. Yeah, yeah.
All day.
Scandalous, yeah.
I'm benching Aguero and I'm selling Suarez. Who in God's name would have him in their football club, lads?
Actually,
I don't care.
I was going to say
he's gone.
This is the second point.
Gone.
He is probably. It's not talked about enough.
Notorious.
He is an absolute mobster, right? Like he's bitten 3 humans playing football. 3.
That's
One is
not
bad
really
enough.
talked about
3.
enough, but yeah.
And he racially abused Patrice Everett, and everyone's like, we'll just brush it off. What is the story with that? And
Yeah.
no, and he still plays, and everyone still loves him.
This will be a common word in this podcast, but that is a straight factorial.
Yeah, like it's a joke. I think that is a joke that everyone just still loves him. I don't like him at all, but I like him as a player. Obviously.
Yeah, well, it's at the questions as a player.
Yes, as a player. But geez, thinking culture, culture, get him out.
That's
my
a good way
group.
to think, though. That's a good way to
Boys,
think.
I'm not thinking of the league.
Rationale.
I'm thinking of the tournaments, boys. Yeah, I'm thinking 3 or 4 years. Well, I know the context is a single year.
Yeah.
I apologise, but I'm not having Suarez near my team.
I am
He's
delighted you
gonna
brought it
get
up because I forgot.
slated for that.
I forgot
No,
as well.
I think that's fair though. You can't get slayed for that. I don't think.
I forgot
As a player,
Valid point.
as a player,
Come at me.
as a player,
No, it's
It's
shaking
Suarez.
his head there. You can't believe it.
as a player, of course, it's Suarez. But that's fair. I'm with you on that.
Kieran, your go.
Yeah, it started Henry, definitely. Even though I didn't really see much of him, he was before my time. A bench. I have a thing for Suarez. I have a thing for him. I know you're right about the culture thing, but I have a thing for Suarez. So I'm benching Suarez, keeping him about.
Keep
Keep him on side.
And I'm
Just keep
selling
him about.
Aguero because I'm a big Aguero fan, but I don't like City. So I'm gonna stick strong on that.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. Comprehensive. Henry's got to play.
Are you the same as
Yeah,
Daly?
I'm says Daly. Purely because of football.
Can I just say,
Yes.
do you ever see the video of Henry time wasting against Madrid? Is it Madrid?
Unbelievable.
Where he's just
Did
like
you see the scoop?
jogging up the
Did you
pitch.
see the
Someone
scoop?
goes to
Oh,
nail him
yeah,
and he
in the
just
corner.
just rides the oh, it's unbelievable.
Balance
Sick.
like you wouldn't believe.
Henry was joke.
Why is Henry a straight shooter for all 4 then?
He's probably one of the best players ever played in Premier League. Sure,
Uh-huh.
he's top 3.
I'm
Any
going
position.
off proper what everyone says. I've never seen him. Obviously, you see clips and stuff, but
Yeah.
I've never seen him in an 11v11 match. Bar Ireland, but I was like 11 when he handball and all.
Oh yeah,
So you hate him.
I hate him, yeah.
No, Henry was
He's
jokes.
unbelievable.
Jokes.
Everything you need in a centre forward. Dynamic, can come to feet, play behind, both footed, goal scoring ability,
Mhm.
good in the air. He was a bit of a rat as well at good times. Like as a
Mm.
centre forward, he was nasty. Quality. Now again, I didn't see him properly for the majority of my time. I'm like, how many years older than you?
What are you?
23.
Only 2 years.
Alright.
So yeah, you're in
You
the same
say
boat as
my
me then.
time. You're
in the
saying
same
my
boat as
time.
me then.
Yeah, well, I watch a lot of Henry though.
Yeah,
Clips,
fair.
clips, clips.
I'm not a big-
Unbelievable.
big
Unbelievable.
watcher.
But yeah, we weren't in that when he was in his prime era. Yous might have been actually when you were a little bit younger. Like you would have been young, but
Yeah,
enough to
my
appreciate
earliest
it.
memories of actually remembering football matches was like that kind of Arsenal team. Yeah.
Yeah, I properly got into football when United had, I think, their second year with Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's when we beat them 4-2, or maybe it was his first year, but they beat Arsenal 4-2.
Is that the game he gets kicked around in?
Mm-hmm.
And he scores the goal right at the end. He ends up in the net like with Rooney.
Yeah, I think it was the midway through the second half,
Yeah.
and then John O'Shea chipped Jens Lehmann. I think it was Jens Lehmann. Serious goal though. I mean, if you look at an Henry compilation on YouTube, you'd be amazed. I mean, when you're that tall and powerful and that skillful off both feet, I mean, you're unplayable. It's like Haaland now. You're unplayable.
Haaland's definitely not as good technically now
Oh,
as Henry
yeah,
was.
oh,
but
no,
absolutely
100%.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
rounded.
yeah. I think Henry had way more class than Haaland, but geez, I'm not going to take that away from
Oh
Haaland
my
either.
God, can we discuss for 2 seconds that man? Robotic. He is unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's all I want to say.
I was actually reading an article on The Athletic about him, how like his touches per 90 are like he
Minimal.
gets a goal every 13 touches currently in the Premier League.
Does he?
Yeah.
13 touches.
The closest to him was like Vardy. I think it was like 30 odd or something like that.
Wow.
That's
like-
also class from
And
Premier
like,
Yeah,
because obviously, but like all his touches are in the box. All
Is
his
that
shots
Premier
are in.
League?
Yeah, so far this year, he's a freak. I'm presuming if you look at the way Aguero played with Pep, someone will come towards the ball a little bit. If he just like convinces Haaland to just stand in the box and score, I think he'll get 35, especially because he takes panels. Obviously, if he stays injury free.
And what age is he now?
22, is he? 23?
I think
Yeah,
Jordo
he's
said
young.
Jordo says he's the same age. as him,
2000
22.
born.
So he'd be
Yeah,
20.
Jordo's
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2000, yeah.
It's freakish.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
disgusting.
It's a crazy bit of business.
It is. It's a crazy bit of business. Right. Good stuff. So the biggest challenge we have faced while doing Training121. It's
I think-
more so for us three.
I think the best way to structure it is maybe you start with one, I'll start with one, then Gary Daly starts with one.
It's a good question. I haven't thought about any of these questions, by the way, prior. One I'd definitely say is in Ireland is finding an affordable venue. I thought that was difficult at the start because we were scrounging for ages, weren't we? Just moving around pitches and stuff, like everyone does and should do at the start. Like find a way to make it work. But yeah, like we were kicked out of so many places, and then we just eventually were like, here, we're gonna have to bite the bullet and get a solidified place. Specifically in Ireland, you have to get an Astro. So getting a 11-a-side Astro is virtually impossible because very few clubs have them, and those who do have them have teams training on them every single evening on the exact times that we need them, and you'd be getting a quarter of an Astro, and that's zero value for any of our players or us. So it was tough to find one that suited, and then we ended up obviously where we are now in Selbridge Football Park, which has been very good, I have to say, very beneficial, local to most areas, and was the perfect fit and not too far from us because we're about 20 minutes away, 20 minutes away, and then daily 10, 15 on a bad day, like. So yeah, I'd say that finding venues is very difficult. I think if I thought about it for longer, you probably have very good answers as well, but that is definitely something that is going to be a challenge for most football supplementary coaching companies at the start to find a consistent venue, because if you're moving from place to place like we were at the start, traveling to Raheny by bus, getting 2 buses, bring in shout out to Paddy Kirk, by the way, first session, first client, traveling with the big orange bag. Do you remember that?
Yeah, in the bag.
two footballs and like I'd say about 12 cones, 2 bands, a camera and a tripod. That was it. First session in the bank. I don't even know how long it was. I don't think we haven't even had watches at that stage. Just turn up, try to do a decent session, create content. That was it. Start. G-man.
For me personally, I found the toughest thing was to juggle full-time work, club coaching, and also trying to build this. Not that I didn't enjoy all 3, but it was more so kind of like, it's very difficult to keep flow states and attention into certain areas. And I found that with Training121, for example, at the start, I felt a lot of, what is the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. Imposter syndrome at the start for about, I'd say, 12 to 16 months, where I was barely involved with the Training121 side, to the point where we were going to like Nike invites, and like I was nearly like, I'm going to say anxious, in the sense that I was like, geez, I don't think I belong here at all, just purely because I wasn't contributing anything at the start. And then trying to do like little bits on Excel or like small things. But I knew that Morgan and Gary, like I was honestly, to anybody listening, without Morgan and Gary in the first, from 2018 until 2020 at the start, like this wouldn't be a brand. Like honestly, I piggybacked on the start of it for the while, in the sense of the, like now it obviously helps because of all the experience that I've gathered through like various, clubs, meeting people, putting a lot of emphasis on my full-time job, and we're kind of getting the fruits now. But yeah, I mean, at the start that was very tricky, and it's interesting to look back at it now, because now, like, Jesus, it's either I'm thinking of work, or I'm thinking of Training121, or I'm thinking of my mates and family. Like that's it. It's just it's a 4-factor. I was gonna say a trifactor, but it's a 4-factor. That's even a word. And it's nice now to be in that position. But yeah, that was a real challenging thing for me at the start, definitely.
It's a great answer.
Yeah, what an answer.
Hmm.
Tearing up.
Belter.
What an answer. Oh, I like that, G.
Top that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus. I think Morgan's answer is probably that, in terms of obviously venue and equipment as well, kind of comes under that. So I'm going to go with a slightly different one, where it's kind of probably a bigger challenge we maybe find now, or over the last year, especially with schedules. School being out kind of kills us sometimes, in that you just get, obviously people go away and whatnot, and it kind of kills things like group sessions and all. So consistency in terms of actually people coming in and staying in, because I think we would all agree that what we provide is probably worth people coming back to as much as possible, but sometimes that just doesn't fit with people's schedule. So like, I think that's probably a big thing we probably will have to face in the next year, of actually getting real consistency. And this kind of goes out to people as well. Everyone thinks when they come into the sessions that they need the one-on-one. Chances are you don't really need the one-on-one. What you need is more contact time, and the best contact time, I say to everybody, is group sessions. 100 million %, because you can do so much more things in the session. That's like, it's like an extra team session, so to speak, and it's also great for networking. We have players who work with us who happen to come in, worked with a player of a similar level with us before, and now they're actually really good friends with that person for no other reason than they just met from from coming into one of our group sessions. So I think things like that, that's probably more so a bigger one going forward, because your answer kind of touched on originally, and yours is kind of a cool answer on originally. So
Mine was so flat. So like,
well, yours is
here's a problem. We need to fix the problem.
but that is the biggest, like, equipment.
It is, yeah. I was
facility
thinking
as
from
well.
a business point of
Because
view.
you've no, unless you obviously have a lot of financial backing at the start, which we didn't.
Literally zilch.
Actually, may I say that we have never received funding ever. Everything is
Tim Barry, actually.
Organic.
actually
Actually,
Barry.
That
do you
is
know
fair.
what? The man deserves a shout out. Now we're giving out a few shout outs. First podcast back, everyone was dying to get a little mention. That man deserves a mention. To give context, Kinger, I don't think Kinger was involved. No. So it probably doesn't sound like much, but he got a big lump sum for his birthday, right? Just, I think it was whatever. It was an event for my best mate.
That was my question.
One of the boys, and he goes, lads, I got a bit of spare money. Would you use it? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, here it is, and just gave us a wad of cash, and we used it very well. I think we ended up getting new training kit or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was something we absolutely needed at the time, but hadn't a penny
It
to do
was
so.
very early on. Like,
And it was super early.
Yeah.
This was not even close to being like a brand. We were just a bunch of idiots who were going around learning on the trade, and so happened to have an Instagram page at the time, and that was it. And it was extremely appreciated, and also extremely efficient with how we used it, because we needed it at the time. So fantastic.
Also, a shout out to Andy Brennan's parents.
Andy Brown's parents as well, fantastic. And also early doors. That's the only two bits of like external. Again, they might not have been massive amounts, although they are hugely beneficial to us. But it was such nice gestures from people who have no reason,
I hope we
have
didn't
no
forget
reason
somebody.
to do it. Have no reason to do it, huh?
I hope we didn't forget somebody. Is this just
No,
doing it?
that's
No.
what I can remember is the two lump sums. But
obviously
also,
support and so on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like literal financial backing, what we're talking about. Why did they do it? I'll never know, but extremely appreciated.
yeah, there was no pull for return on investment or anything like that. It was just, here's cash to people that they trusted. And I mean, honestly, is there anything better in life when people actually do trust you to bring value to others? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what else can you ask for?
That's class. It's class that's one of your mates as well. Like, it's not like
Yeah,
a family
brilliant.
member. It's someone
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
seeing is doing well and being like,
Well, Tim might as
back
well
there.
be family. Even even his best mates with Gary, like, and obviously me. So
Yeah,
He's
crazy.
a good lad.
Class.
Crazy. What a man. Shout out to him. Legend.
Kinger, have you seen any problems?
In the 1-to-1.
Not problems in the sense, but what has been your biggest challenge starting?
Good question.
Even just on a personal level.
Yeah, I'd say on a personal level, just balancing things. Kind of like I'd like to be playing and stuff, and as well, like not at a serious level, like playing with mates and stuff, and just having more time. I suppose I'd say time management has been very difficult, like especially with college and stuff and coaching as well. So I'd say time management.
You're in that. You remind me of G. In everything. In
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
trying
can't
to do
say no,
things in
can't say
team
no.
sessions, in supplementary coaching, all very beneficial. And then you're in college in Carlow doing coaching as well. It's a lot of non-stop football. So yeah, time management is very difficult in that regard. Good lord.
Yeah, I think it'll stand to me though. Hopefully, doing all the coaching all the time, and you're only
You're
gonna
around,
learn.
I don't
you're
know
only
how
gonna
many
learn.
people all the time that are like good people to be around. Like not
exactly.
us, but like anyone that you're involved
No
with.
doubt, like, and like I learn from like different environments. I learn from this environment, and you learn from everyone. Like you learn from the players that come in the door in the 1-to-1 and stuff, and you know you can't turn down a learning opportunity.
On a Champions League dub. Show at the shells.
I learn loads
What
there.
a result. What a result. Right. Good answers, everyone. Good lord. Venues, Morgan. What am I saying? Good lord.
Whoever else.
Everyone else, yeah. I'm going to keep on to T121 topic because I think this is a good one. Daly, I'm going to ask you first. What is your favorite session to do? And it could be like, so you could be specific with a group, or like maybe like an age group that you like to work with, or maybe is it one-on-ones, and what type of one-on-ones and so on.
Ooh, that's a toughie.
It's a great question.
That is a great question. Anyone, by the way, jump in while I'm waiting to answer, if you think of that.
I've my answer.
Go for
Right,
it.
do you want to go?
Again?
It's the venues. I love the venues. They're amazing.
It's the venues I'm struggling, lads, to be honest with you. No, I like all sessions, to be quite honest. Considering how we started and the nature of how I started as a coach with nothing to do with team football, so I'm all in on one-on-ones. I love it. We especially, obviously, we had a big off season, so working one-on-one with professional players is fantastic. Also, we don't do it so often anymore because we have much more group sessions to push kind of younger kids towards. But sometimes when we have like a T121 champion, we call it, someone who's been in for a long time, we like to treat them to a one-on-one where you give them very specific attention every so often, almost like as a thank you. And when you bring someone in who's obviously not a professional footballer, and it could be at any level, and you really have to, you go from going into such micro details with professional players who can absorb it and immediately take it into action, and then try to teach them, because we're not teaching them anything different, to be honest with you. Maybe one, like, to give context, if you're working on a very specific finish with someone, you're going after that one thing for like 2 or 3 months, and that's such a small little thing to go after. You're not going to be teaching that to a kid, but the other stuff, the basics, you're like literally doing the simple things really, really well. You're teaching them the exact same thing, but with obviously same detail, same idea, but you have to, like, I don't like to say the word, but like dumb it down and keep it really like easy to absorb for a younger kid, but you're teaching them the exact same thing. So I like that challenge of trying to teach the exact same thing to someone, but 2 completely different backgrounds, 2 completely different things. That's why I like one-on-one so much. And obviously working with professional players is an absolute privilege. There's some, obviously, the people that do come into us, especially in the Irish culture, it's what we do, supplemental coaching, is not so popular. It is now, which is great, and it's getting to a much bigger stage. But the push for professional players to come in maybe wasn't there in the Irish culture, especially in off-season periods when they have time to come in and do extra, that there was no one there to do it. And I think we fill a gap and other coaches fill a gap, which is great. But now that, like, you have them in your environment, it's such a privilege to actually get to know them, really break down what they do. It is literally their craft. And from anyone we've had come in, they're not going to come in to a supplemental coaching thing because it's not as natural in the Irish culture to go and do extra. So when pros are coming to us in order to do extra, I think it's a compliment, but it's also a real privilege to get to know them. Literally, we say, get in the trenches with them and understand them, what they do, how they function, and how we can make them 0.5% better. And that is incredibly rewarding to do, especially when you see it. So you see some of our players recently. Andrew scored tonight. Shout out to Andrew. And then like players you work with are centre forwards doing their job, scoring goals, and it might be one or two little touches that they've done to set it up, and it might not be directly because of us, but that repetition could have helped them, that little minor percentage, and that extra goal in a year might means they get their confidence up, get a second goal the next game, and 3, and they could end up with 10, 15 goals. And that's not saying it's because of us, but you might have contributed half a little percentage, like with a little specific touch or a little specific strike, and to do that and see it come off at the weekend or whatever days they play games is incredible. So that's why I like that one-on-one attention.
Amen.
Amen is right.
Do you think of your answer, Daly? I was killing time for you. I could see the cogs turning.
Well, just before Gary answers, it's interesting because just as a bit of background, myself, Gary, and Kieran have all coached teams from when we were about 17 years of age, whereas Morgan has never coached a team. He is purely came into supplementary coaching, but it's not a case where he was coming in blind, because like he was basically on our touchline at our schoolboy clubs that we were coaching at, and even in the National League as well. But it's interesting how you're going towards more of the personalized one-on-one stuff. But yeah, it's just an interest just for context in that sense.
Yeah, like I'm still honestly trying to think. My head's gone. I think purely from an actual football coaching and the actual the game, I love the Monday sessions, the game based kind of stuff we introduced. Now, when the numbers were good in them, they were kind of cool, because for anyone who doesn't know, they were kind of like more
seasonal.
Game based is what they were called, and it ended up being quite seasonal. But it was like there was counter attacking and things like that you wouldn't normally get as much in team sessions, but unless obviously it's very focused on that specific area of the game. But I quite enjoyed that from a football point of view. And then in general, I don't really have a preference to one-on-ones or groups or age groups or that. And I've kind of, I used to be a coach who thought, oh, I only want to work with this age, I can't work with these other ages. But I don't think a coach should really be like that. I think you'll struggle with certain ages and you'll be better with certain ages. But I think you should obviously, what I've tried in the last year is to work with more, I don't want to say difficult players or difficult kids, but some people will get a player or a kid and will just say, bad egg, don't have to do with them. But sometimes beneath them kind of players, there's obviously could be underlying issues, first of all, but some of them kind of personalities can be some of the better footballers. And if you look at any of the like all-time greats, they all had a bit of an edge to them, so to speak. Like Maradona was running around drop kicking people on pitches and all sorts. So
I think Suarez pointing shoulders.
I was listening to the Talking Bollocks podcast earlier, and they're talking about, I think it was something to do with criminal activity. They're talking about the line between being a genius and being insane, and like that gap is so small. Yeah. It's incredible. So that's kind of what you're referring to.
And I don't think a coach should say, I only work with this age. I think a coach should say, I'm better with this one age, or I love working with this age, but I can. You're like a chameleon's the right word, isn't it? You constantly mold into whatever the group needs.
What a word!
What a word! What an animal! But like if you're with a younger group of players, you've got to be a little bit more personal and fun and whatnot. Whereas when you're working with a pro, obviously you can still be personal, but it's got to be professional and on it. And then if you're working with groups, depending on what the group needs, you should constantly morph and adjust to it. Don't expect your players to be adaptable if you won't be. I don't think anyway.
Factorial.
I'd be similar. I like the difference between like coaching younger people and older people, because I feel like when you're coaching people who are like pros and stuff, you're almost learning from them as much as they're learning from you. Even when you're coaching young players, it's the same, but you feel like I like the difference, and where you feel like you have to challenge yourself when you're coaching younger people, and I feel like you have to, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like you have to challenge yourself a lot more with young people, and that's been a challenge for me since I started in 1-to-1. Like I hadn't coached young players in a long time, and it's definitely been a challenge, and I've definitely learned from it, and I enjoy it as well. And that's what I enjoy the most. I'd say enjoying doing the younger sessions, and then all of a sudden you're with an older person, and then you're back to a younger person again. Do you know what I mean?
Coaching coaching the younger kids is actually a great way for any coaches out there to really test how you know the game. Because if you say, well, I need you to just get a back foot and open a player's pass.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Cogs like you trying to process which session you're doing.
But yeah, like, so you actually really need to test your knowledge so much more as a coach. And actually, right, well, how do I say this in a simple way that an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old understands and whatnot?
Absolutely. And then it helps you as well when you go in to coach the older people. Then you actually feel like you've built up that from all the younger ones, and then you go to coach someone who might be a pro, and you think, oh, he's achieved so much, what have I achieved? But then you have all the knowledge that you built up, and you feel like you can help that person as well. So that's probably been my favourite.
Even in life, before we get onto G-Man, if you can learn to communicate with like kids, top professionals, everything in between, people with very hyperactive personalities, with very mellow personalities, if you can communicate with all that within a coaching environment, you can do it in any environment, I'd like to think. So like if you can communicate efficiently like that, be a chameleon. I'm all over that. Be a chameleon and be able to efficiently communicate with certain people at certain times and know what to say, and that's an incredible trait to have, just in general. So obviously we're not masters of it now, not even close. We're still learning every single day, but to be able to do that and be around those types of people every day, like I said earlier, is a privilege, but it's a very good tool for the rest of your life, be able to communicate like that as effectively as possible. G-Man.
The mics are really cool here. I'm glad that this is our new home.
Yeah,
Talk about venues and how hard they are to find. Right, I've got an interesting answer. My personal favorite session is a 2-on-1 I have with siblings on a Tuesday and a Sunday, because I really like consistency. And going back to what Gary was saying about trying to one of the difficult things with training 1-to-1 is that sometimes, depending on player schedules, that you might see them once every couple of weeks or potentially once every couple of months. And I like personally to work off block topics. So picking a topic for the month is essentially how we operate here, and really honing in on that. And I like communicating with players who have been there the previous week and understand going forward. So it's nice to knuckle down with players in that sense. And like I get on really well with that 2-on-1. So that's 2 players to 1 coach. And like I personally love that session because of seeing the progress of both of them, and they're both different players. And you know, it really just gets the cogs turning, trying to make sessions that are customizable to both, and making sure that, you know, not either one of them are missing out on the different parts of their games. Back to the professional football stuff, I found that very intimidating at the start, because like if you want to like know about me and Morgan's dynamic, like all I used to hear when I was younger was like Morgan is the better footballer, and like come here, I had never had a problem with that, but I always thought that taking professional footballers, I'd really struggle on the technical side. So I was very much like, oh, that's going to be tough. So the way that I kind of reverse engineered it to like it was to create a better environment. So making sure that drills, like Morgan was saying, were implemented on repeating one aspect of the game that they could really get something from. So irregardless if it was what I was saying to them or what I was serving, that the environment itself would be the beneficiary really of why they are actually getting the value. I remember actually in Kilcock, we had a regular semi-pro, well I suppose you would call it a full-time professional, who came in, and I think I was down to take him again, and I said to Morgan after, like, here, look, I can't do that. I think you need to take that one from now on. And like that wasn't just like a technical thing, it was more so a personality thing. And to be fair, the two of them have an unbelievable relationship now, so maybe that was my gut feeling telling me like actually they could be a good personality fit. But at the same time I was kind of like a bit out of my depth here, but it's much better now because I think I've kind of reverse engineered it to like it. I personally think that I enjoy taking the younger kids because I think if I look back on me coaching teams, I was a control freak. Like I really was a control freak, even to like the details of like team sheets and like the color coordinations and like different presentations. And I found, even looking back, like I really felt most comfortable. Do you agree with that? Like obviously.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah, that's so great.
Factorial.
That's class.
I used to seriously like control in the sense that like I was going to pick the team. I knew everything. It was going to be my education. And when I started working with older players and they started to challenge me, I was like, oh my God, it was like my ego took a stab in the chest. And honestly, it was the best thing that happened to me. And I think it's nice now going back to training kids like who are like 7, 8 and actually kind of being way looser. Like I'm not like, has to be this drill, has to be these reps, has to be this. Whereas now, you know, if the kid says something like, oh, I want to do that skill, it's like, yeah, go on, go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. I mean, you know, it's just good to see just a smile on their face and they're enjoying the game. Like, that was a bit of a roundabout answer, but my favorites, the 2-on-1s with the detail for months and months, and working with the kids. But also a personal, and for any players that are between 16 and senior football, we've got a great senior group on a Friday. And talk about environment, wow. Like, I come out of that place with a smile on my face after just looking at like young lads who are in the National League who might not be getting opportunities with their 19s or first team, and they come in here and they get kicked around by adults. Some lads that have, you know, have even like underage Irish caps, or boys that are playing in the top tier in the Leinster Senior League. You know, giving players the opportunity to train with these sorts of players is a privilege.
I had to stop coming to them sessions on Friday because I ended up leaving the place chasing me on tail around. Every week morning we get a TikTok of him flicking it over my head.
Content.
And I'm not a tall guy, so
Content.
every week it's just like this. There's one where I went to press, you know, a little 3-1 chance. I was
it's
like,
bad.
have him here, and he just like kills it, flicks like perfectly over my head.
It's bad.
And the worst thing is I jumped for the ball.
No, pull that up.
Pull that
I
up, pull
literally
that up.
jumped for the ball, and it like I could feel it grazing my hair, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never coming back here.
I have so much respect for the lads that come into that group, like people our age and all, and they wouldn't be playing at, well, they'd be playing at a good level, but they're no pros and they're no semi-pros. They just want to come in and improve. Whenever I see people my age like that, I'm always like, well,
Yeah.
fair play.
Straight
Fantastic.
factorial.
Fantastic. That's the environment I love as well. Yeah, players are just willing
That was
to
a great
do
Who asked that? By the way?
willing to do extra.
James
No, that was the Henri one. What was the question?
Favorite,
You
There's
joke
about
about
70 questions. in
favorite
front of me.
session.
favorite session.
Yeah.
Favorite
Yeah.
session. Sorry, I don't know who wrote that. We will
Great
do that in
question.
the future, though. Only some of them I remember just off the top of my head. Those who
could
do
pop the
ask in the
question
future,
up
we
as
will give you a shout out. Yeah,
that's a
we'll
good
we'll
idea.
go pull them up and we'll say thank you for asking.
No,
But we
you'll be
will do
busy.
that. Good show. Good show. Nilo, do your job, son. What a man. Right. There's some good questions here. I'm trying to pick a really good one. This is one, and I'm very intrigued to hear the point of view of everyone. How, as a player, do you deal with confidence issues?
Good or bad? Bad confidence.
Well, yeah, lack of confidence.
Both. I'm gonna
Like
need
how
time.
would I
I'm
do
gonna do a Gary Daly on this and take me time. So if anyone wants to jump in, you can jump in.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think people put way too much emphasis on confidence, and they let way too many external factors influence confidence. Coming from somebody who, like, I would think that I would be confident in most things. That was self-taught. Like, it wasn't a case where, like, if I knew I was out of my depth, I knew I was out of my depth. I just kind of accepted it. I think people are way too high-strung in regards to football. I mean, let it go. Let it go. I mean, I was talking there about, like, you know, really enjoying football for a year. Just being carefree. I mean, take away all the, I don't want to curse, take away all the bullshit. I mean, so what if you're not playing well? I mean, so what if you're whatever? Who cares? I mean, you know exactly what you're made of deep down. Like, confidence in football. If you're not confident in football, in my opinion, I don't think you're particularly confident in yourself as a person. I think it's just one big ecosystem, if that makes sense. I think if you're really struggling for confidence in football, I'd really have an internal check to see what is the real source issue. That'd be my 2 cents on it. I think somebody who is definitely self-actualized. Come here. I'm not some guru, but I mean,
You're using big words, man.
Yeah.
Big
You'd have filmed me
words.
as a
I'm here
guru.
learning. I should have brought a pen, notepad, taking notes. These say self-actualization. Lord above, man. That's a crazy bit of business. Wowza. You pulled that one off the top shelf and
Off Maslow's hierarchy.
just dished it out, man.
I'll chime in. I think people sometimes wrongly define confidence. Like, confidence is like so short term, and like you said, it goes up and down. Like, you win a game, you're class. You lose a game, you're not. It's never ever that simple. So if the question is more about short term confidence, then I would go to what Gary said, and what you need to build is like self belief is probably the word, like a more like long standing confidence. Because like if you were, let's say you've played 10 years of football and you've scored 20 goals every year and you're a striker, you're probably half decent at the level you play at. So having 5 or 6 games where you don't score, it's like Ronaldo didn't score for 9 games last year and everyone was freaking out as if that bothers him. Like, as honestly, he might not be low in confidence, but like confidence is so short term. I think you need to work on things like self belief, and a great book for that is Soccer Tough. We'll pop
I
a picture
think-
up. I've name dropped this
I-
before on the
Who's
podcast.
paying you for that plug? Who's
we
paying you
have-
for that
What's his name?
plug?
Dan
Actually, do you want to
Abrams.
ring him and
Class.
ask him any monetization going?
Yeah.
No,
Imagine.
we
Great
have
book.
we have a whole podcast on confidence in football.
Yeah,
Would you believe that? It feels like about 7 years ago we
Yeah.
made it.
and I name dropped that book on it.
You did indeed.
And it's
That's why it
class.
triggered it in my head.
I actually gave it to. So what I've done this year with the team I work with is actually within the unit you have books. So there's 6 players, 6 books, and that's one of the. Well, I actually have 2 copies of it. One player has it currently. He's actually only have to finish it. It took him like
Class.
2 weeks, and straight away he's actually already implemented 2 of the things. Do you ever hear ants and automatic negative thoughts or something like that? Is the thing.
No,
No.
I should really reread the book myself. I think.
that's
And then
Do you
the
have a
other one
pen?
is the match script, which we done the lockdown program law.
yeah. Match grip.
Amazing.
Match grip's fantastic.
But like that's a great book. I would say read that because it's like the whole kill the fly thing. Like it's all little tips you use yourself where you miss a shot. It's at the end of it. Kill the fly, go again. Oh, there's your clap as well. Go again and like little book. That book is great. That's probably better than any answer we could really give. I think.
Nice. Do you have anything to add, Kinga?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just enjoyment. I think if you're enjoying it, you're more likely to be confident. Like anyone that I know or have played with, and they're not confident or don't seem confident, they seem really worried about when they give a bad ball away or something like that. They don't look like they're enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? And I think personally, like my best years in football was when I went to Kilbarrack and it was just relaxed, and I was playing with a few of the lads and we were just winning games. And I think that's for me. It has to be enjoyment. And I felt probably my most confident then as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think enjoyment for me is the root of confidence. It's a
Nice.
nice little quote there.
And it's crazy. Take away, because you've had some really good coaches in when you were playing younger. I mean, like even I don't know who was in charge of Kilbarrack or anything like that, but I mean, it could be a case where
Liam, shout out Liam.
they have it. Like it's so funny. Even the more I look at like when I was coaching the teams and all, it's like I'm 5%. The players are everything. I mean, if anything, and one piece of advice I can say to players at times is sometimes you got to be a yes man with your coach. You know exactly what's best for you at times. Sometimes, now obviously having great, I wouldn't even say having great coaches, but having great leaders and great people in your corner as your staff members and people that you can lean on in that sense, that's what you need. People who can breed not a better player but a better life, and helping you with dealing with those things. Like it kind of comes back to what I was saying about, I think these issues are, confidence is a much deeper issue than your football. That's coming from somewhere much deeper in your psychology. And I think a good part of that, and especially in how important your network is and your close circle, especially for kids, their main parental, or how would I say, like their main figures are their parents, their school teachers, and their sports coaches. And you know, if any of them are off, there's going to be issues. So have a look, people.
Okay. Well,
Loosen it up a bit.
we'll mix it up a little bit. I wouldn't say loose, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say
Loose.
loosen it up.
today.
This is an interesting one, right? This is a very interesting one. Shout out to Gary McGuinness for this one. So we're looking at FAI structure, and we're not in the business of slating anyone and this, so on and so forth. But this is an interesting one that I think we would be nice to discuss. Just a general, what is our opinion on like the FAI structure from, I know we don't have much skin in the game with it. We're not actively involved in it, but the structure from like under 8s to under 11s where they have like the red league and so on and so forth. Gee, just run away with it, man. Just keep the word short, please. My brain's exploding over here.
Self-actualization.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel. The coaches need to have a way bigger look at their influence. Stop blaming the system. Look at yourself first.
Factorial.
Wow. Yeah, like I don't get the problem. Like the leagues, I know.
I was gonna say
Whatever you call the leagues, everyone knows a top league is. Ireland's a small country. Everyone hears about this deadly little under 10s thing.
I'm unaware of this red league thing.
it's essentially a
The
colour
colour
system for
Yeah.
Premier, so on and so
Oh,
forth.
is it?
As far as I'm aware, am I incorrect in saying that? It's like they have standards per.
Remember, when we were kids, like, it was like Premier and all.
Because
A, B, C, or
The
whatever.
idea
Yeah.
for kids,
Yeah.
they don't want to know their level type of thing. But
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
knows
But
it's
yeah,
it's
nobody's
silly
stupid.
stuff. But
Everybody knows
irregardless,
it.
under 8s to under 11s, why do you care? Why does anyone care?
Yeah.
What is going on in the leagues? Like the jumps I see, especially kids in our environment, the paranoia from 11 to 13 about jumping clubs and about getting to a certain stage, and I do get it from parents because they want to get their kid into a club and want to be enjoying it. but it's panic stations every single year for every single team and club trying to. I know some teams who didn't even have an off season. It was straight back into the new season because they were so scared they were going to lose players. Who cares? Who cares? Honestly, who cares about what players gone where and parents gone around going, oh, did you see little Johnny's gone here and got? Who cares? Honestly, who cares? If the kid is running around, having a good time, picking up little piece of information, who cares? Honestly, especially at that age. I can't believe the under 8 to under 11. Mother of God.
Yeah.
Run around, a smile, and have fun. Honestly, it really is
Chase
that
the
simple.
round thing around.
It's not that
Get
complex.
around the round thing.
And you're absolutely correct in saying that. Yeah, could there be some structural things? I have no information to tell you whether there could be or not. Irregardless, get back down to basics. Stop trying to interrupt me.
What structure doesn't need change?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking
Constant evolution.
just specifically about the 8s to 11s, I mean, is there pitches? Yes. Are they in leagues with organisation with fixtures every week planned? Yes. What else do you want, people? I mean, so what if they're the best players are playing against the best players? The level will always find you, irregardless if you're an under 7 player or if you're an under 13 or a National League player. The level will find you. Stop complaining. Your kids playing ball. They don't even care half as much as you, parents and coaches. Factorial. Well, no, you can't give a factorial to your own statement, but
Factorial. I'll back you up there.
I think that's that. Done.
Yeah, that's good. Good question as well. Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Oof. This is one, right? And I wasn't going to ask it because I think it's a very generic one. And I think the people asking it, I don't know why they ask it because I don't think they even want the answer. But we get it so often that I think we should address it. And we'll post it as a TikTok and clip it, Nilo. We'll clip it. And just so whenever someone asks a question, we have it. Here's your answer. And to be honest with you, there's no one answer for it. But the question is, and it's very generic, what age is too late to go professional?
Gary, you start with that one.
Do I have a chance?
Do you know what? Stick the Puma Elites on 6 months. Get yourself fit.
Luke Shaw's not fit.
Yeah, that's why he's not
He said he's
playing.
most like Luke Shaw.
Benchy. Worst player in United. Nah, he's not. But he's poor.
He is.
He's not the worst player.
Ah,
He's poor.
let's not talk about United because we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
Only
No.
United.
Daily. When is too late to go professional?
The answer probably is like never really. Like Jamie Vardy was what age? Late mid-20s, later when he
Yeah, Ian Wright as well. What was he? 22
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
21.
like yeah. But
Not every road is the same.
yeah.
The odds of you making it as a professional footballer. Let's make it clear. A professional footballer is not just a Premier League footballer. Let's make that clear. You can
Yeah.
play professional football, 3rd division, 4th division in Germany, and make a good career for yourself and enjoy yourself at a really good level. And if that's your level, it will find you. If it's a case where you go over there after having a good, successful season and you get promoted and go through the ranks and so on and so forth, that's because your level is constantly getting better. So it will always find you. So to give a straight enough answer, the majority would go professional at, let's say, in Ireland it's happening quite young, but say let's say 17 to 22. We'll put it in that range there, where players are signing their first professional contract. That doesn't mean if you're not signed a professional contract at 22 that you can't have a really good Leinster Senior League career, for example, to contextualise it to Ireland. Play till 25, 26 and go, Bows need a centre mid. This fella's been banging him in or doing really well. And all of a sudden your door can open and all of a sudden you can end up in England in 2 years or in Germany or somewhere, depending on what you want to do and what your level actually is. It will find you though in the end. There's no hiding in a game of football. So like there is no one answer. It's like 26, you're done. There's
Yeah,
no
like,
way.
there's no-
I
it's
think
too
There's nothing
individual.
done like that.
That
Too
question's
individual.
almost like asked in a sense of like,
Like,
oh, he said 25, right? I'm 26, right? That's it.
yeah.
Oh, thank God he
There's
said
no
that.
answer for that. But you got to be realistic. Again, ask yourself the question: am I good enough? If you are playing, let's say, amateur football, and you aren't pushing and being the best player in your training and best player in your team week in week out, it's probably not. You're probably not going to be a professional footballer. Put it that way. Like you have to be the best at your level. If your level's under than what you think it is, and you are performing every single week, and you are playing top level, and you are properly performing, not kidding yourself, you're performing every single week, well then your chance will come to up your level. Then if you get to there, you look at Killian Phillips 3 years ago at Kilbarrack, obviously doing well, doing very well, gets his opportunity in Drogheda, probably unknown, and then all of a sudden just things start to happen. He starts performing. He gets his things going, gets into senior football, grabs it by the scruff, performs, and you get your move. And that doesn't mean he's going to go. Now, he's on the bench tonight, which is fantastic for a Premier League game. It's incredible considering he only moved from Drogheda, less than a year ago, maybe just over a year ago, whatever it is. That's incredible that he's in that caliber of window like that from Drogheda to Premier League. So that is incredible. But he has come from, you could argue, nothing, right? Nothing. Underage football, we know a lot of players go around. He's not, obviously, I don't think he was one of the names that was going around like every year. There's someone going around in underage football. It's always the players who aren't going around are the ones that seem to just get it because they're just struggling, which is the best thing I think for underage footballers. They struggle, they are constantly trying to grind it out, and then when the time comes, they're ready. And if they're ready for that level, you're ready for that level. If you're not ready for that level, you'll know all about it when you go try reach that level. So I don't think there's two ways about it. There's no set age, to go back to the question. There's no set age. There's no set agenda for how to become a professional footballer. But don't forget, in professional football, you don't need to be playing in the Premier League or in the Championship or in the Bundesliga or in whatever, La Liga, in order to be a professional footballer. You can make a career in third divisions, fourth divisions, whatever.
I think what Kinger said is kind of the thing where I think people want a number. So either if they're younger than it, they want the target, or if they're older than it, they want to be like, oh, well, now it's done. I can not try it. Whereas, like, there's no set target with it. Like,
write it on your wall.
Gemma Quinn was Shells. She's I don't know what age she is, but she hasn't played like Women's National League in her whole career that I know of. She's playing Colesta last year, and all of a sudden she's in the Champions League
And starting.
winning
And playing
games
excellent.
and starting both games and
like,
playing excellent. And she's in a team that are top of the table all the time. Like
See that plug? You're top of the table all the time.
that is going to get clipped in a couple of weeks.
Women
When
say that.
You were getting
downfall.
floated around the group chats.
Oh God.
No, but it just shows you, like, she just
Yeah.
had the commitment, the work rate, and I guarantee if you asked her 2 years ago, will she ever play with Shells, she would have said no.
And not to play in the Champions League.
Playing the Champions, she would have definitely said no.
Ridiculous.
And she puts
Incredible.
in the work, and she's fit, and
She's ready.
yeah.
Ready to perform. And was she ready to take the chance?
Yeah,
Very
she took it.
clearly. And
There you
she's
go.
taking it.
And there's a million examples like that. You can think of,
Yeah.
like,
I think that's the answer. There is
Yeah.
no,
I think that's the answer. I think that's the answer.
the limit does not exist.
Okay. Last bit. We are going to do sporadically a starting 11 of in the Premier League of teams of players outside of the big six, we'll say. So obviously City, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea.
Yeah, everyone laughed that we put United in it.
So
you
is
can have
that-
everyone laugh.
Yeah. We're back
They're
on
still
form.
big six.
We're back on
Are
form.
we starting keepers?
Don't be getting smart. Yes, keeper. Can I
I was going
elect
to
one?
start with the subs, to be honest, but if you want to start keeper,
Yes.
I heard this fella.
One at a time, lads.
Huh?
One at a time.
Right, I'll
The
start.
listeners.
I'll start. Allison, in goal. And I mean,
Kinga, outside the top six.
oh, outside.
Or the big six. This fella's
I thought it
slim,
was in the top
sleeping.
6. I thought it was.
Slim,
Oh, that's a much better
sleeping.
question. That's
Allison.
a much better question.
He didn't even put the hay in.
sorry, for the viewers, what makes this more embarrassing is we just spent 10 minutes off camera discussing this question.
It's a joke.
What a
my
numpty.
God.
Kinga,
Right.
oh my God.
I'll
Put your
start.
rear in.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Sanchez from Brighton.
I'm going to debate that. Although,
I'm open.
it's a good shout.
I'm open to suggestions.
I'm going to say Nick Pope.
Good show.
I'm glad I was open because he's a very good goalkeeper.
He's an excellent goalkeeper. He's an excellent goalkeeper. Thank you for being so trustworthy of me.
Next.
Lads, what, are we debating that?
I'm trying to think.
I'm also trying to think. I'm terrible for actually.
Who's the Leicester keeper now? Schmeichel.
Oh, Danny Ward.
Danny Ward, flappums.
Who?
Flippin' flappy he is.
Danny Ward. He
Dodgy
used to play-
hands,
he played with Liverpool,
butterfingers.
didn't he? Was it Liverpool?
Ex-Liverpool, yeah. I used to have him on career mode. He was a fantastic lone goalkeeper. Cat.
Never heard him.
Absolute cat.
Jeez, they got stitched up.
I want to plug Gav or Mark Trav, but
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Two
I just
legends,
don't think
but
they're at that level yet, though.
Nick Pope has the pedigree.
Yeah.
International.
Bazunu is worth the conversation.
No, he just said that.
Is that who Gav is?
You in the
Gav.
room?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Cut that. Good Lord, Kinga, man. Twice within 20 seconds, you were getting clipped heavily. Heavily.
I'm trying to
Slim
think. They
sleeping.
go through the kind of teams from 7 to like 10. Wolves keeper's decent, but I wouldn't put my head up Pope.
How's he say?
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, I'd agree with Nick Pope.
Yeah.
I think it's reliable.
I can't
I don't think we
about
even debated it, so. Right, let's go right full.
Tariq Lamptey
gonna say
is a player.
Tariq Lamptey's a good shout. Has he been playing,
Yeah.
though? Has he been playing? That type of player, though, I think you're correct in
Give
saying.
me the
Do you know
club.
what?
List a few rifles.
Kufal off West Ham.
Good shout,
That's a
yeah.
good shout.
Steady Eddie.
Good player. Steady Eddie is correct.
Your man Pereira for Leicester's very good. When
Yeah.
he plays. He plays
Yes,
for
but
us,
see-
Good on
yeah.
FIFA.
Yeah, pacey.
who's
That's
Newcastle?
about it.
Trips. Gotta be trips.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my
It's
answer.
Gotta be trips.
Just for the listeners, that was a shout from Niall, and yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Kieran Trippier, you can't put anybody else in.
International
it's gotta be
set
Trippy.
pieces, lads. Set pieces. And also, good player. Very good player.
Shout out Luke Ayling. Remember we used to play for Yeovil in FIFA and all, back in
Yeah,
the
I
day.
do remember.
Talk
Yeah,
about
clubs.
career progression. Centre halves.
Are we accepting?
I'll accept Trippier unless you can think of anyone.
I
better.
think Trips is probably the best show. That's a great
I
show. I completely
can't think
forgot.
of-
Newcastle, man.
Any team between like
Yeah, I'm
I-
not
7
a-
and 12.
I've thought
guy's
of actually
gone.
3 since Trav, and then Gav made me think of Southampton and Bournemouth, and then Newcastle, because both of our players are Newcastle so far.
Just a reminder: clubs: Wolves, Aston Villa.
I'm gonna actually look.
Matty Cash. Matty
Yeah,
Cash.
get the clubs up. That'd be
No.
great.
Matty Cash.
Matty
player.
Cash is a good show, but
I
he's
wouldn't
not
have-
as
yeah.
good as he's not even as good as Kufa.
But you need a show.
Yeah, Chancer though, playing for Poland.
What?
James, what are you getting on a
Yeah,
bit?
he plays for Poland.
Matty Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your football IQ is quite.
Very poor.
It's
Kieran.
abysmal,
Oh, yeah.
and mine's very well. I know players, but I don't really
no.
know football. Like, if you were to ask me anything about years with United, absolutely terrible. I have no interest in it.
Yeah, I think Trippier is looking at the teams.
Yeah, keep them open
Yeah.
because
Kinger, I have the worst football IQ of anybody here, and it's
and
funny.
who's in football like as well.
I mean, I couldn't tell you 10 clubs in the Championship.
Really?
I couldn't tell you the starting 11s for any Premier League team, bar Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City, or Chelsea. Not even Chelsea.
This might be a tangent, but then how did you get into football? I know this isn't going to be a deep question. or
Oh,
deep
New
answer.
back when I was
podcast.
younger,
Yeah,
I was
if
into
you
it.
like if you weren't into
But I
it.
mean, for the listeners as well, I'm sick of football at times. I mean, I'm in at 25-8.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I watch
Extra
I'm
day.
Please
One
come to our
extra hour.
sessions though. He loves it when you're there.
completely different to coaching. I'm talking about professional
Yeah,
football.
when you're in it, no, professional
No,
football.
sorry.
yeah.
No, I mean as a
I
fan.
hate
No, sorry. I mean as a
didn't
fan.
even know
Cut
it.
that, cut that, cut that.
Here, the players, man. No, I mean as on a
I
professional
know exactly
football
what you're talking
fan.
about.
Yeah.
Just like people
Brutal.
who are just obsessed with football, like all the time. They want every opinion. They listen to every podcast, every show. I couldn't be bothered, man.
Really?
Just watch United. Did we win or did we lose?
I'm a nerd. I'm a football
Yeah, you
nerd.
but see, you're very good for knowledge and stuff. Daly's also not bad
I'm
at
a
all.
nerd as well.
I am good with career mode stuff. I had Dele Alli at 16 playing in the hole. He was unbelievable. Back foot, yeah. Oh, but now he was balling.
Right, back to the task. Let's
Centre half,
Thanks,
yes.
Gary.
So
Come
what
on.
have we got? We've got in goal.
And Nick Pope and Trips. So
Nick
two
Pope.
two Newcastle players. Will we,
Brexit
put, will we
FC.
put a cap on 3 players? No, 2 players per team. No more Newcastle. I think that's fair.
Jesus, we're gonna struggle.
I think that's fair. Don't worry about it,
That's a
man.
good show.
You have the phone open. Centre
Do you have
halves.
it?
4-3-3.
Yeah,
Just keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Centre halves. Who the Palace centre halves?
Anderson is-
Gay.
Anderson's excellent.
Mark Gay's very good as well.
Yeah, he is good as well.
He's good as well.
I haven't seen enough of Anderson, but I like Gay.
Connor Coventry.
In the middle. Do you mean Connor Cody?
Connor Cody.
I was like, wow. It's a good shout, by the way. It's a good shout.
That is a good shout.
That's the
Connor
clip if
Cody.
ever I've seen a
Yeah,
clip.
clip that. Yeah, Connor Cody's a good shout. Just for
West
pure
Ham centre
pedigree.
halves?
Sorry?
Fofana's gone to Chelsea though now, isn't he?
Nah, Chelsea.
Oh.
Nah, he's gone. Fabrizio said so.
Who's West Ham centre halves?
Zuma.
Zuma.
Ogbonna,
No.
Zuma.
No, get out.
Dawson.
No. Oh my God, no. Not coming near our side, lads.
What else have we got?
Brentford.
Pontus Janssen.
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Who have Newcastle got?
Southampton.
Lascelles.
We're strong.
What? Share with the Paddy.
in
What
here.
centre half on FIFA?
Dan Byrne, yeah, that's a show.
Oh.
Finn said Dan Byrne.
I think Connor Cody. I think Connor
Leicester
Cody
centre-half?
is a
Johnny
good
Evans?
shout. Reliable.
Johnny Evans
What a
in there?
guy, by the way.
Actually, Johnny Evans is a noble mention there, lads.
He's on the down.
Yeah, he's on down though.
He was.
But yes,
He was.
He was. a
I'd
good
say
mention.
the Crystal Palace had he said, Mark.
Gay?
Yeah.
Jere Anderson.
Yeah, he's good, boy. I think Connor Cody's
I haven't seen enough here, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of Anderson, so
Is he left footed?
I don't know.
He's in our team if he's left footed.
Yeah, factorial.
Balance. Ezri Konza is a spoofer. Tyrone Mings, no, don't even look at. Oh, get out. Yeah, no, I'm not having any of the external shouts. Tyrone Mings can get the boat. Seems like a nice guy, but mother
Yeah, he
of
does.
God.
He looks like a cool, intelligent guy, but I'm not a fan of him as a player.
Ming's a good guy. Ming's a good show. I'm having
Kinger.
Mings.
Kinger.
Kinger.
Get
I'm having
out,
Mings.
man.
Kinger, man.
Kinger.
No,
Talk about erratic.
no, I'm
I'd
having
rather
Mings.
Alisson centre half.
Wrap it up.
Nah, terrible.
I'm having Mings. He's tall. He's a lefty.
Yeah, but
That
if
doesn't
he's a
matter.
left footer and I'm not picking him, there's a problem. There is a real problem. And he is not even top 10 of like centre halves.
What's he lacking?
Can't
Intelligence.
defend.
He can't
Kinger.
defend.
He can't defend, and he's a defender.
He's erratic.
Oh, Kinger.
No, he's so
He's good in
erratic.
the air. He's a good defender. I'd imagine he's
The
good at
amount of
set
times he
pieces.
just poorly clears the ball to the striker and they
so
score.
right,
Oh, any game
Yeah,
I watch
and
him, he makes
he's a
mistakes.
dirty, like,
He's nasty at times. Do you remember his Zlatan
You
whole
need
shenanigan?
that. You need to be nasty.
Lewis Dunk.
no,
No.
there's
Sound
a-
like Roy Keane. You need to be nasty. He's a
Lewis
defender.
Dunk.
In the right ways.
Good show. Good show. Is he that caliber though? Good shout though.
two reliables, Lewis Dunk and Connor.
There's a
They
few
are
more.
very reliable. Except we are getting turned.
Yeah, probably.
We're going to be here longer than we think because
Yeah.
I'm going to throw Yerry Mina into the mix. And again,
They don't-
he's
Everton
tall.
don't even want them
He's
anymore,
great
Kinga.
in the air.
You
He has
can't pick
international
Everton
pedigree.
back.
He's international pedigree at Colombia. I'm throwing. He deserves to be
Should
in
we
there.
put Mason Holgate in as well?
I'd
Put
have
Pickford.
my back two would be Mings and Mina.
That's a 7-0
my
loss.
God.
Oh,
I'm confident.
that is
Kinger.
Mr. Erratic. August Mr. Erratic Ella.
Oh my God.
Sticking by it.
Man.
Sticking by it.
You honestly went with an Everton and a Villa centre half.
Yeah.
It's
The
probably
two
the
teams that are doing
dogged teams.
desperate this year.
I'm sticking by it, honestly.
Oh,
and I'm not even messing. I'm being serious. I'd have them two.
2 open books. I mean, they might as well open the floodgates and let the beavers in. Not a chance.
Yeah, Kinga, I'm sorry. I cannot get on side with that. I
I'll
can't get
go-
on side with that.
I'll accept.
Let's just vote. Let's just vote.
That's fine. I'm going to, just because I can't think of any more, and I think we'll be here for the rest of the night, I am definitely going to say Conor Cody because he's a good guy and he's a
Tops.
top player.
Yeah.
He's skippy.
And yeah, and then
Well,
for balance, you're probably going to say Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, that's mine. As
But
well.
but there could be
Good show.
someone better.
Good show.
Please let us know in the comments if we. There's definitely someone that's better.
The lack of athleticism in the two of them.
Yeah,
The
but
lack of
the
defending
lack,
in the
the lack of
two.
defending or any sort of rationale. The other two.
Oh my God.
No, I'll accept that. We'll move on.
Thanks,
I'll
Kinga.
down.
Thanks, Kinga.
Left full.
Don't leave me hanging.
Left full. Cresswell. Mitchell for Palace.
Cresswell number 1. Easy for me. Easy.
Also a little bit erratic, but a very
Digne.
good player.
Digne is very
Digne is a
good.
ball.
Cresswell over Digne.
who does Digne play for?
Villa now.
Oh, Villa, yeah. Genie.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that? He scored 2 goals last year, 2 own goals. 1 for Everton against Villa, or whatever it was. Yeah, and then
The
for
opposite.
Villa against Everton,
That's mental.
isn't it?
Left
I
full's a
hope that's
hard
true.
got at the lower end of the table. Because I typically see with the top 6 typically have left fulls that are either overall amazing footballers or have a little bit of a niche. They're just like, I mean,
Well-rounded, good defenders can get
Digne all
forward.
over. Digne is like one of the top 3, 4 in the league.
I love. I'm a big
100%.
fan of Cresswell. I just think
I do
he's
rate
very good.
Cresswell. I'll go with Cresswell.
I like both of them.
But it's going to be very English. We now have Nick Pope, Trippier, Conor Cody. Who was the other centre?
Lewis Dunk.
Lewis Dunk and Cresswell.
Brexit FC.
Brexit FC.
Do you know
yeah,
what? We'll
Deutsch.
mix it up, will we?
Yeah,
Yeah, go
we'll
on.
go. I'll add a bit of flavour.
We'll go
with
Digne,
Digne.
yeah.
We'll go Digne. Also,
Right.
great shout though.
you're not picking him on the basis that he's English.
That centre
Digne's
half.
not English.
That's what he means.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That centre.
But then I actually would have Digne over Cresswell though.
Yeah.
I was just entertaining Kingers because it's a good shout.
we sit the Southampton centre half, the new fella, Bella Kotchap. Did you watch that United game? You
You're
know,
making up
Southampton?
names, man.
Lads, he is a monster. He's a monster.
He
And
probably
you
doesn't
can-
have skin in the game long in the Prem.
He's one. I'm telling you, he'll be
Fact.
a player.
Right,
I
midfield
think-
3.
Declan Rice,
Yeah.
Decker's 100%. I know
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
easy.
Irish shit, but what a player.
That's easy.
Excellent.
tops,
Excellent.
done, dusted,
Yeah.
the quickest you can
Excellent.
pick.
Yeah. Tielemans
Yeah.
in the 8.
I love Tielemans personally. I think he's a great player. Great player. I love reliable 8s.
Yeah.
And that
That's
will
me
give you a
without thinking of
license.
anyone
With
else, though.
Deckers there and Tielemans, you've got a license for something nifty. Maybe like a James Ward-Prowse or something.
Your man Eze plays in midfield, it says for these.
Coutinho.
Is he?
It says Eze plays in
Oh.
midfield.
Coutinho, Ruben Neves,
Coutinho's a shout, man.
Prowse,
Yeah, you can't forget Ward Prowse.
Who do I say in the 10?
Oh,
indeed. he's
What's that James Ward-Prowse, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but he's not really a 10.
No.
Oh, okay.
Indeed, he's a good show.
Indeed, he's a great shout. A flat Deckers and Didi, and then someone in
Tielemans.
Crave. Tielemans, but nah, he's more of a get around there.
So we've got Rice, Tielemans, and we're just looking for one other.
Would you
But
agree
are
with
we all
Tielemans?
I'm happy
you-
with Tielemans.
I like
Yeah.
both of them, but then you have Ruben Neves and Didi,
Coutinho.
Coutinho.
Your man Bruno's very
man.
good for Newcastle.
Yeah, but he's again skin the game.
Oh no, Bruno. Yeah, I like
He's
Bruno.
good, like.
I haven't seen him enough.
Bruno Gamage.
Anybody in the bottom tiers like Bournemouth or who's playing the middle of the park for them?
Yeah, Gav. You Gav.
Just Stoke in this year.
Who
Who's
else?
the Villa sentiment? John McGinn.
John McGinn is actually a very good player.
He's not the best.
No, he's not, but he's a good
Well,
player.
yeah, I agree.
I think Ruben Neves is a good show. I think Coutinho's a good show.
Coutinho for a bit of flair.
We'll go Coutinho, I think Royce and Tielemans. Why
Because
not?
Coutinho's
That's a great
mentioned probably
midfield
every
choice.
week in our T121 thing. We're going to do Coutinho finish today. Everyone knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'll
That's
go Coutinho.
straight factorial. For that reason, he's in.
Coutinho's in. Okay, are we playing Ndidi and Thing or Tielemans and Royce?
Tielemans, Royce.
Tielemans, Rice.
And
Grant. Agreed.
Just dominate.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Dominate the ball.
Yeah.
Get
We're going to have
around.
Ming centre half. We need to score goals anyway, so.
We don't have Ming centre half.
Yeah.
You know,
was voted
we could have.
If we had Ming centre half, we'd be a threat for set pieces. But we're not. Because we've
Lewis
got
Dunk,
Connor
Lewis
Cody and
Dunk.
Lewis Dunk coming.
Lewis Dunk.
Lewis Dunk's like
Dunk.
6'6",
Yeah,
isn't he? Or 6'5".
Country's going to be tough, I tell you.
No, it's
Country.
not. Wingars Wilfred Zaha.
Oh, well.
Ah, no, I'm
Do you
not.
want
having
goals,
that.
Kinger?
No.
Kinger, do you want goals? I don't like him at all. But as
Ball,
a
lads.
contributor to forward play, he's absolutely exceptional. Every single, you say it every week. He's like, well, Wilf scored again. Finn, go on. Factorial.
Finn,
Centre forward.
Mitrovic is my 9 all day. All day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, right there.
Unbelievable.
And also, Kinger, your shout on football. Wilfred Zaha. Are you talking
No,
like
he has talent. But I just don't
Talent?
like his-
Kinger.
I don't
talent?
like him
He's
as
not
well.
an 18-year-old
Kinger,
boy,
Kinger,
man.
Are you,
He,
say,
he plays like an 18-year-old boy.
are you saying, Kinger? King, are you listening to me? King, you're not listening
This
to me.
is just three
You
against
listen
one.
to me.
Yeah.
Are you saying that because you don't like him? Or are you saying that because he's not a good baller?
I actually kind of like him, but I don't like the way he acts.
No, nor do I.
I don't
But
like it.
do you rate him?
I do rate him, but I don't think he's like that productive. I know his stats are probably gonna go completely against me, and I could sound stupid. But every game I watch him, I'm always like, he's the main tray. Done nothing. Do you know what I mean?
He's only back
Don't
to
know.
you.
What?
The boy Wolves draft getting Guedes is class.
Gonzalo.
He's
Gage.
class.
Finn just threw up a good shout there, but we actually are out of Newcastle players. But St. Maximin's a good show.
Have
Yeah,
we mixed any other players?
No, I don't think
We're
so.
alright,
I
No,
think we're okay.
we're okay.
Good shout though, because I was slim sleeping about that.
Yeah,
That's
so was I.
only when I said
Harvey
Newcastle.
Barnes.
Harvey
Harvey
Barnes.
Barnes.
Underrated.
Very
Yeah,
underrated.
he is
very
underrated, yeah.
productive, but I don't think he when he had that phase. Wow, do you remember he was just
Yeah.
banging him
Yeah.
in. He's
Anthony
excellent.
Gordon. Jared Bowen.
Yeah.
Jared
Jared
Bowen.
Bowen is a
Oh,
good
yeah.
shout.
Are we full of West Ham players though?
Jared Bowen's a
We've
good shout.
Deckers
With
and-
Deckers and
Do we
no
put
one else.
Kuvala,
No,
no?
we didn't.
No, or we didn't put Cresswell in either.
I don't even know. We're back four right now.
I'd rather Bowen over Zaha. I would.
Lads,
You
Wilfred
play, no,
Zaha,
Jared Bowen can play on the right.
Pascal Gross,
Yeah, no,
a player as well.
Yeah.
Declan Rice and Wilfred Zaha are the 2 non-negotiable players for me in that team.
Yeah, I'm big on Wilf.
So who we
Although I don't like him.
who would you
You-
we all agree with? In
I
front
say
three?
I say we go 9
is
and then
me-
we do the
yeah,
wingers.
is
Mitrovic,
Mitrovic.
definitely.
Well,
Who
Ivan
else?
Toney.
Jamie
Yeah,
Vardy.
Ivan Toney, Vardy.
Jamie Vardy's in there.
No, Ivan Toney's not in the same league as Mitrovic. Rate him, but he's not in the same league.
Who would you go
Mitrovic
with Gary in
banged
the 9?
41 goals last year, wasn't it?
Probably got
41?
Mitrovic.
Yeah, something stupid.
Like ridiculous. And he's
actually
banging them in this year.
turning up
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
good.
And he's also, you forget how young he is.
Mitro.
Yeah.
Why is
Like,
he?
you'd think he's like 35, wouldn't you?
What is he?
27.
He's only like 27 or
Yeah, he's
something,
young.
Is
Youngish.
he?
Ridiculous.
Niall said he scored 50 since the
Yeah,
start of last season.
contributions.
For club and
Contributions
country.
are incredible.
So I think we go with him anyway. And then
Just because he's a legend
I
as
think
well.
we're definitely going to forget someone. Like Vardy.
I said mention Vardy. Yeah, as in respect of how good he's been in the Premier
Raul
League.
Jimenez,
But I'm
Chris
still, we're
Wood.
kind of talking modern.
Earl Jimenez.
Rob
no,
Mitro.
Who's Villa
I-
centre
I-
forward?
no.
I also just
Danny
love Mitro.
Ings.
And Ollie Watkins.
Oh.
Ollie Watkins. No, not enough. No.
Nowhere near it.
No.
Danny Ings a great goal scorer though, but nowhere near.
I'll go Mitro. Yeah, I'll go Mitrovic.
Are we going Mitro?
Yeah.
I love a 9 like Mitrovic.
So
100%.
do I.
What
Dynamic.
wingers then?
Well, you pick a winger because you have interesting takes on wingers.
I've only considered 3 teams per.
Morgan, I didn't ask you.
I like your man. Your man Eze is class playing. We need to play him.
Very
on the wing.
good.
And Zaha.
Eze.
Or are we out?
I used to like Eze, and then the same as Zaha. He just doesn't turn up for me. Doesn't turn up.
Not yet. I agree with you there.
Harvey
But he's
Barnes
quality.
and Jar. I go Jar Bones. Jar Bones could play.
Jarboe off the right.
Finn, can you
Yeah,
pull
Wilf
some
on the left.
stats on Wilfred Zaha, please?
Wilfred Zaha off the left.
I'm
And Jared Bowen on the right.
Jarbone, that's me as well.
Jared Bowen inside right. Yeah. He's a lefty, isn't he? Or is
I
he?
actually don't know this guy. Who is this?
He's excellent.
He's with Hull. He's very good. Or
He was with Hull.
He's with West Ham.
All right,
He had a great
Finn's
year
going to read out
last
some stats here, and I'll repeat them.
No, Finn, pass the phone over. Go on, slide it to Daly there.
Daily, take the phone.
Take the phone.
Daily.
No looking at his DMs though.
I'm waiting for the phone. Where's he gone?
Deleting his history.
Yeah.
Lads, honestly, how are you not putting Wilfred Zaha
yeah.
in there?
Zaha and Bone.
Yeah, put him in. I don't.
And then
put him in.
Tyrone Mings. Why not?
Kinger, you're not happy at all with the squad. Kinger's left the coaching staff. Said, I'm not happy with the squad, lads.
He's left the
Recruitment's
Slack
poor.
chat.
Right, Daly, hit us up, please.
He's 29 years old, 293 days. 282 Premier League appearances. He has 65 goals. He's won 90 games.
What's that, 1 in 5? 1 in 4?
For a Crystal
Wilfred
Palace winger,
Palace, that's
Kinger.
excellent.
Get the boat.
He's Palace for a reason.
Yeah, a goal a game. Goal a game this season, according to Finn. I'm going to trust you there.
It's 4 games in.
Goal a game, though. We're on about Haaland. We're
It's
on
more
about
than Ronnie.
Mitrovic. He's at it.
Did he score
Again.
for me?
He's in my team.
All right,
That's a man in form.
Get him
That's a
in.
man
Get
in
him in.
form.
Look, you
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, go with it. Go with
Any
it.
cool
go with it.
stats, guys?
Not particularly. You can't do like
Well, that was enough stats for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw Wilfred Zaha when he was with Palace in the Championship, and I couldn't believe how good he was. And he signed for United the next year, and for whatever reasons that obviously didn't work. And then I was like, good riddance. And then I watched with Palace again. Blew me away. I mean, a player with that physique and pace and skill, and finished that goal he scored against Liverpool at the start of the year. Oh my
fantastic.
God.
I like how dynamic he is. I hate his erraticness in terms of off the ball stuff. I hate when he gets petty. I don't like that in a player at all. But when you're talking about someone who just is a full-time killer for goal scoring, I can't leave them out.
He played in the 9 for Palace that day, man.
Was
The
brilliant.
9? Are you kidding me? King, how are you not? How is he not even in your debate?
He's in the debate. I don't know. He's
I
in
think
the
him and
debate.
Bone. I'd say.
I was just wait. I
Yeah,
just
that's a
wanted
good
to see if we had a better option.
What do you like about your man?
playing
Bone?
devil's
He's very
advocate
good.
I
for
wanted-
us,
I
Kinger.
wanted
Thank
to
you.
try and
He's
get a
very
better option.
I asked
I
Gary a
can't
question there.
What was
I
it?
said,
We're
what do you
having
like
a long
about Bone?
conversation.
His self-actualization.
Fair.
Nah, he actually just very good. I can't really think of anyone else.
Bowen
off
has
the
a
right.
lot. Bowen has a lot.
Yeah. Not to offer the game. Pascal Gross is a joke, by the way. I know they play a bit of a mad formation on him man from Brighton, but he's class. And he looks so unassuming as a player.
Always spanks you.
He's a big, tall, elegant player.
Is he tall?
Well enough, I would say, yeah. I think
I check that. I check that quickly before we finish because I'm
Oh, God.
convinced he's like 5'10".
we may want to outro it.
Well, let's finish with this height measurement, please. Put your shouts in. Pascal Gross.
I've never seen the
saying-
guy.
I have no knowledge on Pascal.
I'm saying
Gross.
5'10".
I'll go 5'11".
Just mix it up.
He is 1.81 meters, which I'm going to guess
Fingers.
is...
It's
6.
6 foot,
Yeah.
6 foot and half an inch, is it?
That is crazy. He does not look it.
Yeah.
Another one, a weird show. De Gea is like what, 6 something, 6'4", 6'5".
All keepers are massive.
Is he?
They just
Does not
don't
look
that
it.
tall,
Doesn't
yeah.
look it. Yeah, he's like 6'4", 6'5". I think.
He's very slim
Fact check
build.
that. Yeah, but the other way, but most like lanky lads look like it. He does well. I suppose he's got like a long face,
Yeah.
but he doesn't look that height at all. I don't think. Whenever I found out his height, I was shocked. But De Gea,
192 centimeters for David De Gea.
crazy. Right, lads, that was great. Great to be back. Honestly,
Welcome, Kinger.
thank you
Yeah, good
to
to
everyone
be
for the
here.
questions. Kinger, great having you on for the first time. You were very good on your podcast introduction. Well done. That was good. Good performance from everyone.
It got a bit ropey when he mentioned Tyrone Mings.
When he went to
Not
Tyrone
gonna lie,
Mings, it was time to
You
cut
got
him.
to the last 20 minutes and then the legs started giving out and you had to just sit in.
Yeah,
and
not
you're
good.
absorbing pressure.
Not good. Not
Ball
good.
over.
Coming from a true coach, that.
Oh, God.
Factorial. Right, lads. Class.
Yeah,
Good
just
stuff.
also a final note on how regularly we want to get these out. We still need to have a couple of conversations about getting this out onto a schedule where it's like a part of people's lives, where it's not just random podcast drops. Best case scenario would be one every 2 weeks. Other than that, then we're going to have to make some calls. But as I said to Morgan, I was going to say to you boys after that, this is like the whole goal of the podcast is about giving zero cost to consumers and our community of some sort of entertainment or some sort of value. And, obviously why we started Training121 at the start was to essentially fill a gap where we've thought that kids amateurs and professionals weren't getting enough contact hours to become better players and more importantly better people. So I think being able to push more and at a consistent rate is not just important to us, but it's also important to our community. We never go against our word in that sense. So I think it's important that, you know, just for everybody that's listening, that we are planning to make this as consistent as possible. And that's why we picked this beautiful venue. Shout out to Vision Labs for hosting us today.
Class. Beautifully put. I think that's the way to go. Right, lads. Thanks for watching. We will give more information on our socials about how frequent it will be, but nice to be back. Thank you for watching.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.